It's been a while since we've had an entry-level hatchback on the channel, right? Thing is, the segment has shrunk and your choices within the segment have also reduced over the past few years. But Maruti, the small car champion, is convinced the segment is all set to bounce back, and it's brought back one of its most illustrious names for the job. Meet the new Maruti Suzuki Alto K10. Right from the very first Alto, two things have been at the core of the model's appeal: a low price tag and great fuel economy. The latest Alto K10 scores in both areas. Prices for the new Alto K10 start at 3.99 lakh rupees ex showroom, while the top spec automatic version comes in at 5.83 lakh. The pricing means the Alto K10 undercuts the Renault Kwid 1.0 and is also about 25,000 rupees more affordable than the Espresso, with which it's closely related. The Alto K10 is not India's most affordable car though. That tag stays with the 800cc Alto that remains on sale. It's sufficient to say the new Alto K10 is one of India's most efficient vehicles, with the manual versions boasting a 24.39 kpl ARAI figure and the AMTs doing even better with 24.9 kpl. Now that we've established the highlights, let's talk of the car behind the numbers. The new Alto K10 is about the same size as the old Alto K10 that was on sale till about 2 years ago, but that's where the similarities end. The new K10 is new right from under the skin. It's the latest Maruti to be built on Suzuki's hard-tech platform, and in look too, there's little to connect Alto K10's old and new. The focal point up front is this large grille with a honeycomb effect, atop which sit these fairly simple headlights. Now, in the metal, it does look quite cute and cheerful, but what do you think of the way it looks? Let us know in the comments below, and if you haven't already, please do give this video a nice big thumbs up. At the sides, you'll find simple lines and a fairly conventional hatchback silhouette. Other details include lift-type door handles, but one thing that will catch your attention are these 13-inch rims that look a size small even for this class of car. Those 145 section tires look particularly slim when you view the Alto K10 from the back. Now, styling at the back is quite simple, and there is a clear visual link to the Maruti Suzuki Celerio that just went on sale a couple of months ago. Now, as for other talking points is boot space, and to access the boot, you either use the lever inside the car or you need to use the key. There's 214 liters of boot space, and you can actually fit in quite a bit. The single-piece rear seat backrest can also be folded forward to make more room for luggage. Remote door lock and unlock is one of the features included, and there are a few surprises in store on the other side of the doors. The Alto K10 might be an entry-level car, but it doesn't necessarily feel so or look so on the inside. The dashboard is quite neat. It is user-friendly with all controls in easy reach, and things like the digital instrument cluster and touchscreen really uplift the look of things inside. Quality levels are also good for this price of car, with consistent fit and finish throughout the cabin. In terms of practicality, the Alto K10 scores quite well. You get a reasonably large glove box. There's 1 liter bottle holders at both of the front doors. You get 2 cup holders at the center console, and though there's no dedicated space for large smartphones, there is a little bay where you can keep them standing up. Understandably, the Alto K10's driver's seat doesn't get height adjust, but you're still sat reasonably high and visibility is actually quite good. Shorter drivers might find the dash cowl a bit high though. The seats are also comfortable, but there are no adjustable headrests, and that could be a bother for taller occupants who will note that head and neck support is limited. As you'd expect, the Alto K10's feature list isn't all that long, but it does get you some new age convenience and tech features. Leading that list is a 7-inch touchscreen that also packs in Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. You also get steering mounted audio controls, which is a cool feature. There's manual air conditioning, front power windows, which are operated via these buttons on the dashboard itself. And though the mirror adjust is manual,
The car is actually quite narrow, so you can reach out to the left wing mirror and adjust it quite easily.
Do note the digital instrument cluster I spoke of doesn't get a tachometer. Here's a quick look at some of the features on the top spec Alto K10 VXI Plus. In terms of safety equipment, the Alto K10 gets mandatory items like dual airbags, anti-lock brakes and rear parking sensors. Sadly, there's no option for a rear wash wipe. The Alto K10 meets latest Indian safety regulations but is yet to be crash tested by global NCAP. There is a lightness to the car, but overall build quality is decent. Shifting focus to the back seat.
You'll be in for quite a surprise when you look at the amount of room the Alto K10 offers rear seat passengers. Now, I'm just under 6 feet tall, the front seat is set to my driving position, and as you can see, I have ample knee room and also a good amount of space to move my feet under the front seat. Even in terms of headroom, I'm pretty well catered to. But you have to remember that the Alto K10 is not the widest car around, so the back seat is best for 2 passengers only. And another thing, rear headrests are small and not adjustable and only offer marginal support. There are no power windows at the back, and you have to manually wind down the windows even on the top spec version, and storage spaces are limited to this bottle holder at the center.
On the go, the Alto K10 quickly establishes itself as a friendly city car.
The Alto K10 uses the latest evolution of Suzuki's K10 1-litre 3-cylinder engine. This one packs in dual jet technology and there's dual variable valve timing as well. In all, the engine makes 66 horsepower and 89 Newton meters. Now, those aren't really high numbers, but then you have to remember that the Alto K10 is also a small and light car and can actually manage quite a bit from the relatively humble power and torque figures. The new Alto K10 feels quite responsive, and sure, while some of that low-end pep of the older K10 is missing, this still feels like a very zippy little car and is well suited to urban driving. Helping the Alto K10's cause as a city car is the option of Maruti's AGS or auto gear shift system that we better know as an automated manual transmission or AMT. Like other AMT systems, this AGS unit also works best with light throttle inputs. Do so and it'll change gears quite effectively and in a timely manner. But when you are driving in conditions where you need to get on and off the throttle, often you will find the system to trip and not quite get what you want of it. There's also that pause between gear shifts that you have to get used to, and frankly, it isn't the most sophisticated of gearboxes around. But if you can learn to live with the quirks of this gearbox, what you get in return is a great degree of convenience and clutch-free comfort.
The AMT's creep mode works well in crawling traffic, but when starting from rest, you'll note vibrations at very low engine speeds.
At times when you want to take charge of gear shifts, you do have the option to flick the gear lever to manual mode.
I also drove the Alto with the 5-speed manual gearbox and found it likable.
The manual gearbox Alto is friendly in its own right. The clutch is light. The gearbox doesn't require all that much effort, even though it is a bit rubbery in its feel. On the whole, this is a pretty effortless city car, and buyers on a budget will do well to choose a manual.
Interestingly, the manual and AMT do drive slightly differently.
Something which you do feel more on the Alto K10 manual rather than the AMT is the slight jerky power delivery at lower speeds. Now, it isn't all that bad, but you will feel it more in the manual transmission, and what it suggests is that the fueling is very aggressive in the interest of best fuel economy.
Talking refinement, the Alto K10's engine runs quiet at city speeds but does get vocal with a 3-cylinder thrum when you rev it harder. What of the other aspects? Back in the AMT to find out.
There is some slack at the Alto's steering wheel, but does it really matter in a car like this? Absolutely not. What you will appreciate is how easy the steering is to twirl and how comfortable it feels in urban settings when you have to take something like a U-turn.
Low speed ride is somewhat of a highlight too.
One of the talking points on the Alto K10 is its low speed ride. Now, it's not the most comfortable car, let's be clear about that, but those 80 profile tires do take a lot of the initial blow from the worst of our roads. Then there's the fact that you just find that the Alto K10 is a very chuckable little car. You'll feel comfortable driving it slightly off-road. It's light, so there's that confidence that it won't really get stuck anywhere. And these are some of the reasons why the Alto is such a hero in the hills.
But what's the Alto K10 like as a highway car?
Impressively, the engine doesn't run out of breath on the open road either and gets the Alto to triple-digit speeds with relative ease.
But high-speed comfort is basic.
The Alto K10's high-speed ride is best described as choppy. What that means is that you'll feel a lot of the road's imperfections, and the road I'm on at the moment has these harsh expansion joints, and each one of them comes through into this cabin.
So that's the new Alto K10 for you. It's an honest car that delivers all that it promises. That is affordable and economical transport for the family. Yes, many buyers shopping in the price band will be drawn to a larger used car, but few options, if any, can deliver the Alto's low running costs and general hassle-free ownership experience. The Alto also serves as an all-purpose car capable of tackling India's varied environments with a smile. All of these are things first-time buyers in particular will appreciate. Maruti is convinced this lot of buyers will be back in the market and will help make the new Alto K10 India's best-selling car.